I thought today we could touch on some best practices for a fruitful artistic mindset. The attitude we should have to be the most successful creative we can be. I should mention this is a companion video to best practices for your artistic goals. I would urge you to start there as setting goals is the base of best practices. I'll leave a link in the description. Today I'll be focusing on the artistic mindset. If you have additional suggestions, leave them in the comments so that others can also benefit from what you've learned. What I'll share are tips I wish I had known when I first entered the visual industry. And hopefully, this will shave a few hours of frustration from your artistic journey. By the way, that is my hand drawing. And for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm C. I've now been in the visual industry for over 2 decades. And I'm also a partner at Curio & Co. here in Vienna, where our main line of work is to create content and visuals for the entertainment sector. This Curio & Co. series is intended to provide tips to artists who are dealing with the many peculiarities of the entertainment industry. I hope what I share will help you reach your artistic goal faster. After all, this industry is quite fast paced. So let's get started and let's address our mindset, the attitude we should have to be the best creative we can be. First, we need to have our goal clear in our mind. Then, we need the right attitude toward what we aim to achieve. We'll need to want to get things done. I'm not talking about the I need to do my homework. Of course, we sit and get it done, even though we're kicking and screaming inside of our head. That is getting the job done, sure, but with a grudge. We're artists. Our intent will show through our work. We can't help it. How we create reflects how we feel. If we approach creativity that way, then we'll have an honorable time in our creative journey. Naturally, we're all entitled to those wacky off days when creativity eludes us. But, like Stephen King says to his muse, I'll be upstairs working if you want to stop by. We got to be working on things and be ready for that creative explosion that is around the corner. We should be excited and have the desire to get something done. Because after all, you know you want to create. Because doing is learning. Because you know it will help you reach your artistic goal. Even the most mundane task can teach us something if we look at it closely. Look at how even a minute change in a curve can completely change a design. We need to be able to see these tiny details in order to understand their effect. Then use it in our work. If we're interested in something, a whole world suddenly will open up. A ton of questions will start pouring out. Doing with intent offers the opportunity for this study. We can excel because we know where and when to ask the right questions. Even mundane, repetitive work can all of a sudden be extraordinary. Think about all those still lifes that have captured your attention. They were primarily studies. It's not the subject that is exceptional, but the point of view and the execution. The artist is supposed to show the world the extraordinary in the ordinary and the redundant. Recall your goal when you have trouble working. That's your focus. It will help you get through the task with more passion. It will help reframe the task we don't want to do into a task worth achieving with eagerness. It will give a reason for doing with passion, and your work will reflect it. We need to practice our mindset like our skills. Practice is repetition. That means we need to make sure that we can build a routine also with how we approach things. We shouldn't expect to achieve our best with every piece that we produce, but we should, of course, strive to do so. A constant practice acting on the devotion toward our goal will bear fruit. That's why routine is so useful. If a specific task becomes a routine, then it becomes less trouble for us to execute. Try setting up a routine. Usually within 5 days, you'll see some results, and keeping the routine will become easier. You'll feel good about the commitment to the routine, leaving you with a positive mindset and a sense of achievement. I need to mention this. Often we get so focused on the goal or the task that we lose sight of the big picture. We need to learn to step back and take breaks. We need to have a balance in our lives. Spend time with your loved ones. The creative process can be consuming, but not just for you. Others can be affected as well. As we stay focused on the goal, we just might be neglecting other parts of our life that are just as important. Set time aside for doing some physical exercise and for learning new things. You need to exercise both your body as well as your mind. They work hand in hand, and you need both of them happy so that you can perform well. Occasionally, we just have to step away from our work and look at the bigger picture. That way, we can see where we're heading and we'll keep ourselves healthier. In my experience, every good artist I've met has not carrying an ego along with them. Leave your ego at the door. I've made a whole episode on this. The link is in the description. I'll let you dig into this if you're interested. I will say that as young artists, we are self confident in one way or another, and we need that to push forward. There is quite a bit on this journey to overcome, but I would avoid being arrogant. It will make for a better relationship with your fellow artists, supervisors, and other peoples in general. You'll have better travel companions. We need to learn to take criticism. This is stuff for any creative person in any field. You can be an author getting reviews from a newspaper or an editor, or a character designer getting reviews from your soups or from social media. You're not alone in this. We need to keep our cool. We shouldn't listen to every opinion that is thrown at us. We need to listen to the person whose opinion we trust. They will offer the input we need to improve our work. And I'm not talking about comments like, great composition, I love your colors. I'm talking about proper constructive feedback. Like, if you were to increase the contrast in this area, then your subject might pop more. Once you think your work is ready to be shared on social media or with your client, you need to emotionally ready yourself for feedback. You might get an avalanche of positive feedback that's easy to accept and it's a great emotional boost. Yet, there is the chance that no feedback or unexpected notes return to you. If this is the case, take a breather. Don't answer right away. Take 24 hours to process the info, and then you can, if necessary, get back to the person with a relevant question you might have. You really don't want to reply to a client's email that criticizes your work immediately. Give yourself some time to cool off and think through the problem. Without a doubt, you'll be able to come up with a creative solution to the problem. Whatever the situation might be, I would advise don't engage in a toxic environment. It uses up time and energy that can definitely be better allocated toward your goals. I have to say that, oddly enough, there's always something of value to take home from anyone's criticism. Sometimes we realize that this person is not our target audience, but we thought otherwise. Sometimes we get to realize that our intent was not clear enough. Maybe we got lost in the details and forgot the overall intent of the image. Just keep your cool. There is no way we can please everyone every time with our work. This is part of the artistic journey. Fortunately, we have the desire to better ourselves and create. Don't lose sight of that. That's why we're doing all of this. You might think of this as a cliche, but it's true. You got to love what you do. If you have that, reaching for your goals will be so much easier. This desire will give you the necessary drive to make the hard decision to achieve your goals. Every task we undertake gets us closer to our goal. That should bring us joy, and the task should transform into a pleasure. We need to realize that we can always learn regardless of where we are in our career. Knowledge in any field is immense. We can be masterful in a skill, but mastering it implies that we know it all. To think that, it's arrogant. It's counterproductive to our artistic growth. There are pit stops along the way. On our journey, we'll gain an understanding of a specific skill, land a job we wanted. Those are achievements that are tangible. The artwork you create and the awards you will win will be proof of that. We need to remember that we are on an artist journey, and it's just that. We'll be constantly creating and evolving. Look at Picasso or Frank Zappa, how they constantly reinvented themselves. There's really no way an artist can get bored in their career. There's so much to learn and to try, even with the subject that you think you know inside and out. We thought the atom was the smallest particle, then we discovered electrons, quarks, and even smaller bosons particles. Don't be afraid to be taken to school. It will only enrich your work. Find someone whose work you respect. Ask them good questions, and if they're willing to offer some knowledge, take it in with open arms. Don't create friction at that moment. Later, you can decide if that knowledge is relevant for your artistic career. Not all artists are great teachers, and not all teachers are great artists. We need to surround ourselves with people whose opinion we value and who can help us grow. We should learn to filter through whatever is thrown at us. We can't process everything, and not everything is relevant. Make sure you bring patience to the table. Remember, things take time. Impatience can cause mistakes and bad decisions. We shouldn't dive headfirst into a project. Let's first gain an understanding of what our commitment might mean in terms of time and money. Take a breather before making a decision. It applies to 95% of the time. Rush decisions are often dangerous. In the creative field, we don't hold someone's life in our hands. It's okay to take a few minutes and think things over. Those minutes are time well spent. They will help you craft a better solution to your work, to better communicate your idea to your audience. Persistence goes along with patience. I'm sorry to say it, but the reality is that competition is tough, and we need to have persistence in the entirety of our artistic journey. We need to stay true to our goal. We all learn from our mistakes, and it's okay to make them. Edison failed many, many times before he figured out how to make a single light bulb, but he only had to succeed once. I need to say, and this is really important to always remember, many rejections we encounter along the way are not failures. People have different tastes, circumstances change from day to day, and luck plays a huge role on our journey. But we can only go places if we are on our journey. We need to stay our course. Hopefully, you're familiar with the power of no. We often hear it said to us, but this is something that is not often employed by creatives. And we all really should get more familiar with using it. Some businesses often expect creatives to work for free or below market value because we choose to do what we love. They'll often use the line, it's good exposure. Be really careful in those situations. It's in your power to say no, and that's absolutely okay. Your time has value, and rather than devote time to a badly paid and frustrating project, you might get closer to your goal by devoting your time to a portfolio piece that best suits your goals. Once we had a project on our table that had a budget of 97,000 euros. It sounded really enticing at first, but they expected 70 to 90 minutes of animation to be delivered within 6 months, and no script was written. We passed on the project and we saved ourselves an incredible amount of nightmares. As artists, we also have to know when to fold them. It's great to dream big, and we should. This is one of the things that drives us forward. We are creatives and we have a vision that we want to realize. Remember that regardless of how big we dream, we can only get there one step at a time. We should be aware of our footing. A muddy ground can cause unpleasant derailments. You can think of each step toward your goal like a stroke on your painting. Each one of them counts, and each informs the next. Make each one of them count. Every image we create should get us closer to our goals. You're the captain on your ship, and you choose and know your heading. Chart your destination ahead so that you can have an easier journey. Learn to adapt and think on your feet. There will be curveballs coming your way. If you're flexible and attentive, you'll be able to adapt with more success. Each of us has a different journey to make. Your way is your course and yours alone. No two journeys are the same. The more you learn about other artists, the more you will realize how much they differ from one another, visually and in their own story. They all might have sold work at a gallery or worked at a major studio, but they all are on their own journey. Learn from them so you can make more informed decisions when something similar comes along. The journey is yours, and your circumstances will never be the same as theirs. Every step is yours to take, and you should take the decisions that are right for your course. I'll wrap it up by saying stay adaptable. Don't get stuck in your own ways. The journeys we are on are long. It's worthwhile enjoying them, so make it a fun one for you. Learn to say no when things are not suitable. It will get you out of unpleasant circumstances. Keep a cool head and don't be hasty with your decision. There will be some crazy curveballs. If you keep yourself nimble and adaptable, you'll be able to dodge with better results. Stay your course and you'll be able to navigate from goal to goal. I hope that what I shared is useful to reach your next creative milestone. If you found this video at all helpful, you can support the channel by pushing that pesky thumbs up and the notification bell if you want to know when the next video gets released. In case you'd like to leave a comment, I'll do my best to get back to you with the relevant info and of course answer your question. In the meantime, stay curious, keep on learning, and of course, stay creative. See you next drawing!